Yeah, my name is Donoavan Mahoney, and I came up with the name of my company, A Better Construction Idea. Because I like to draw, I like to design. I went to environmental design at the University of Pennsylvania, and I was the chief model builder for Taniguchi Associates in Boulder, Colorado, where I learned a lot about geometry and building and design. Explain how to build them, and I have these on my van, and it's sort of indicative of what I want to do. However, a better construction idea doesn't always have to come from me. It can come from the client.
Have you seen my spatula?
Here it is, right here. You're so good, Bruce. What a great assistant you've been today. And when a client comes up with a better construction idea, I try to implement it. And by the way, not only did I have to put these shims in here, but this board here, I sighted it down from putting a little ladder on top of here, and I had to put counter shims in here to make sure this line is, I'll be real, relatively straight. It's still undulated just a fuzz. I mean, it's hard because there is some natural undulations in the ceiling, but it's so close to being straight that when you're standing down below, you won't notice it. But I mean, it had some variations about, this much that I had to deal with. So anyway, 1/2 inch fluctuations that I reduced to maybe 1/16 to 1/8 undulations. That's another word I like. Because wood, as you might know, naturally undulates. So you have to correct it. And did you know even tall skyscrapers, even though they look straight, they naturally undulate when they go all the way to the top. By the way, here's a board I was using to make some shims. See how they're specialized? I just made the shims out of a 2x4. Sometimes you just gotta use what's available. Like I was ripping some of them 5/8 to 0 and 28. Little knobs like that so I can get the tape measure caught in it. So now, what I do is I hook the tape right here. See, isn't that nice that it hooks? See, look at that, it's just staying there. Now, I'm gonna be measuring what would be what is called the long point. It's actually the short point on this board. See, on this board, the long point's over here, see that? But this is a board that I call the finisher. I take off a 1/16 because I need to leave room for caulking. So I'm gonna make this 90 and 15/16. So I'll just write it. Just like I'm sort of a bad boy in school and writing on the walls, but this is fun, it gets to be covered up. No, I've done this a lot. Because of the fact that I'm cutting these boards upside down and there's grooves and there's tongues and it can be confusing. So what I did is make these little patterns when you make these. So I take this little pattern, even though I've done it before. So now I grab the board like this. Right there, that's called the shoulder of the tongue. That's where you put those little nails, those 2-inch nails. Now I see that I need to cut this end at an angle. So I can put my board down for a little, and I want it to go. This is a miter box saw. Now it'll tilt, but it only tilts one way, okay, to do the 45 degree. It doesn't tilt that way. So I have to know that usually my first cut, most of the board is to this way. And if you look really closely, there's still just a little bit of the pencil line on there. So you want to see like that. It's fun. I see this line right here? That normally represents where I'd want it to line up with these. But since we're in a transition area, I'm gonna have to readjust because I want this to tighten like that. I don't want it to tighten like this. See, I bring it in, it's tight here, but look how I make these. The screws there, these are fender washers. Sometimes you can put an extra washer. And what's real important, when you drill the hole for these, you want to drill it so the shaft will go through but not the threaded part. That way, see when I'm holding it? See, the screw stays in here, because if you drill it too big, this screw can just frequently fall away, and it gets on your nerves when you have to bend down and to go home and read a comic book for a minute. You know it'd still be there, but no, I gotta finish this because this caulking is in there. This is called the shoulder. This is the groove. No, excuse me, this is the tongue. This side is the groove. So, what you do, just to let you know what it's gonna be doing, when I shoot through there, watch this. See that now? I hope the owner didn't get mad for me wasting this wood, but it's not being wasted. It's not actually want to work on this.
We have David and Michelle on the line, and they do forgive you.
Thank you. This joint here is really important, and I have just a little too much caulking on there for me to see the joint. But it's looking good. See, those are just extra lines that I drew in previously. So, I want to hit it down just a little bit more. See, when you see that caulking come out of there, actually I wanted to do it a little more than I did, but that, ladies and gentlemen, structural orgasm, and sometimes it's just like dripping out of there. So anyway, now what I can do is actually go over here and nail this in. So you two kind of work it in, make sure it's working. But it's actually nice and good and tight. And sometimes what I do is I give it a little extra smack. Like that. Look, see, we have even just a fuzz bore of what I call a structural orgasm. Yes, you do. So now I can scrape some of that off right here. And like I'm saying, all these pencil lines are kind of making it look bad, but it's really, you know, a pretty decent joint. Not only did I put it in the truck, and by the way, not only did I have to put this shit through here, but this board here, I sighted it down and put the little ladder on top of here, and I had to put counter sheets in here to make sure this line is all relatively straight. It's still undulated just a buzz. And it's hard because there's natural undulations in the steel. I'm going to ask my cameraman, Bruce. Bruce, are you there?
That's
Okay.
see my special.
Here it is, right here. This one, yeah. Bruce. What a great assistant you've been to me. Actually, not many people probably say this, but a better construction idea doesn't always have to come from me. It can come from the client. And when a client comes up with a better construction idea, I try to implement it. For example, this owner came up with some good ideas, and I said, you know what, Michelle? I really like that idea, but there's one thing I don't like about it. She's like, what? She gets all nervous. I go, the only thing I don't like about that idea is that I didn't think of it first.